Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Aditya Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow to participate in a program that will be attended by over 2 lakh women. Prime Minister interacts with leading CEOs of companies ahead of the Budget 2022. Parliament passes Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Bill 2021. Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 passed in Lok Sabha aims to link Aadhaar number with electoral rolls besides giving a voter 4 opportunities to enroll in a calendar year. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurates 4 national highways in Mirzapur of Uttar Pradesh. Around 2,66,000 crore rupees spent during the last 6 years for development of northeastern states, says Donor Minister G. Kishan Reddy. In Jammu and Kashmir, Delimitation Commission proposes 9 assembly seats for scheduled tribes and 7 seats for scheduled castes. Over 138 crore 26 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.39%. Cold wave conditions to prevail for the next 2 days in northwest India. And in football, India entered the final of SAF Under-19 Women's Championship 2021. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause of concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe: wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow to participate in a one-of-its-kind program which will be attended by over 2 lakh women. The program is being held as per the vision of the Prime Minister to empower women, especially at the grassroots level, by providing them with necessary skills, incentives and resources. In this endeavour to support women, the Prime Minister will transfer an amount of 1,000 crore rupees in the bank account of self-help groups SAGs, benefiting around 16 lakh women members of the SAGs. This transfer has been done under the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission, with 80,000 SAGs receiving Community Investment Fund of 1.10 lakh rupees per SAG and 60,000 SAGs receiving Revolving Fund of 15,000 rupees per SAG. The program will also witness the Prime Minister encouraging business correspondent Sakhis, BC Sakhis, by transferring 4,000 rupees as first month stipend in account of 20,000 BC Sakhis. When BC Sakhis commence their work as providers of doorstep financial services at grassroots level, they are paid a stipend of 4,000 rupees for 6 months so that they get stabilized in the work and then start earning through the commission on transactions. More from a correspondent.
During the program, the Prime Minister will also be transferring a total amount of over 20 crore to more than 1 lakh beneficiaries under the Mukhyamantri Kanya Sumangalai scheme. The scheme provides conditional cash transfer to a girl child at different stages of her life. The total transfer is rupees 15,000 per beneficiary, which is given at different stages. Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of 202 supplementary nutrition manufacturing units. These units are being funded by the self-help groups and will be constructed at the cost of approximate rupees 1 crore for 1 unit. These units will supply the supplementary nutrition under the Integrated Child Development Scheme in 600 blocks of the state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Prayagraj.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today interacted with leading CEOs of companies. CEOs of banking, infrastructure, automobiles, telecom, consumer goods, textile, technology, healthcare, space, electronic sectors have participated in the meeting and shared their views with the Prime Minister. This is one of the many interactions being done by Prime Minister ahead of the Budget 2022.
Parliament has passed the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances NDPS Amendment Bill 2021 with the Rajya Sabha approving it today. The Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. The legislation seeks to replace Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Ordinance 2021. The bill amends the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985 to correct a drafting error. The Act regulates certain operations such as manufacture, transport and consumption related to narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Replying to a debate on the bill in the Rajya Sabha, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the ordinance to this effect was promulgated with sensing an urgency to correct an error by bringing an amendment to this Act. She said during the time Parliament was not in session, so the ordinance was promulgated. The Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 that provides linking of electoral rolls with Aadhaar number to check duplication was passed in the Lok Sabha today amidst protests and sloganeering. The bill also seeks to give 4 opportunities to a voter to enroll in a calendar year upon attaining 18 years of age. Apart from this, the bill has provisions of gender neutrality in regard with service voters and to enable the requisition of any premises for election purposes. Replying to the discussion, Union Law and Justice Minister Kiren Rijiju said that the amendments in the bill would bring clean and fair elections. He said linking of Aadhaar number with electoral rolls is not compulsory or mandatory but voluntary. Refusing the allegations of the opposition, he said the amendments are based on the recommendations made by Election Commission of India and the Parliamentary Standing Committee as well. He also said that the government has thoroughly discussed the recommendations with ECI and the states as well. While moving the bill for passage, Mr. Rijiju said, unlike earlier, now a person could get an opportunity to enroll as a voter 4 times in a year on the first day of January, April, July and October. Later talking to media outside the Parliament, Minister Kiren Rijiju said the bill will pave way for greater electoral reforms in the country.
चुनाव सुधार के दृष्टि से बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट इलेक्टोरल रिफॉर्म्स बिल लाए हैं और इसमें सब साथ देंगे तो ये देश के लिए अच्छा होगा। सबसे प्रमुख बात ये है कि अब 18 साल हो गई और 18 साल पार होने के बाद भी अभी का सिस्टम ऐसा था कि आपका नाम सूची में नहीं डाल सकते हैं, आप 1 साल रुकना पड़ता था।
Earlier, Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Asiduddin Owaisi of AIMIM, Kalyan Banerjee of TMC, N.K. Premchandran of RSP and Ritesh Pandey of BSP opposed the bill. The opposition pointed out that the government is bringing an important bill in hurry and not allowing the thorough discussion on the contents.
Around 2,66,000 crore rupees have been spent during the last 6 years for the development of the northeastern states. This was stated by Development of Northeastern Region Minister G. Kishan Reddy in a written reply in the Lok Sabha today. The minister said important initiatives have been taken by the central government for improving air, rail, road, power, waterways and telecom connectivity in the northeastern states. He said these initiatives have accelerated the development of the region. The Lok Sabha today passed the supplementary demands for grants second batch for 2021-22 amid protests by opposition members. With this, the House authorized the government for gross additional expenditure of more than 3.73 lakh crore rupees during the period of 2021-22. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said additional net cash outgo of 2.99 lakh crore provision has been made for big-ticket expenditure like Air India and fertilizers subsidies. She said since the international prices of fertilizers have gone up, so an amount of 58,430 crore rupees has been allocated for subsidy on fertilizers. The minister said that an amount of 74,517 crore rupees will be matched by the savings of the ministries and different departments. The House also passed the Appropriation Number 5 Bill 2021. Both the Houses of Parliament today continue to witness disruptions of the issue of Lakhimpur Kheri incident and a suspension of 12 Rajya Sabha MPs as well as on other issues. Both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha faced 3 adjournments each before they were finally adjourned for the day. Amid deadlock in Parliament, the government today accused the opposition of not willing to allow the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha to function. Talking to reporters outside Parliament, Leader of the House in the Rajya Sabha, Piyush Goyal said the 12 suspended Rajya Sabha MPs should realize their mistake and talk to the chair. He said the government had convened a meeting with the opposition leaders, but they did not come.
आज बहुत खेद के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है कि माननीय प्रहलाद जोशी जी ने माननीय चेयर के आदेश पर और जो बात विपक्ष बार बार कह रहा था उस हिसाब से आज मीटिंग बुलाई थी। सभी जो पांचों पार्टी के माननीय सदस्य सस्पेंड किए गए उन पांचों नेताओं को बुलाया गया, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि वो मीटिंग तक के लिए नहीं आए। हम हाउस की डिग्निटी और डेकोरम को रिस्टोर करने के लिए हर संभव कदम उठा रहे हैं, लेकिन विपक्ष की भूमिका बहुत स्पष्ट नजर आती है कि वो ना चर्चा करना चाहते हैं, ना डिबेट करना चाहते हैं, हाउस की प्रोसीडिंग्स में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करना चाहते हैं और उनके मन में डिसरप्शन और डिस्टर्बेंस के अलावा कुछ नहीं है।
Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari today inaugurated 4 national highways with total length of 146 kilometers built at a cost of 3,037 crore rupees in Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh. The minister also laid foundation stone for 3 national highway projects which will cover 86 kilometers with a total cost of rupees 1,123 crore in Jaunpur. Speaking on this occasion, Mr. Gadkari emphasized on infrastructure development for employment generation and economic prosperity. He said that the government is committed to the development of Uttar Pradesh. He said these road projects will boost the development of the state, provide better connectivity in the region, and will double the pace of development of the state.
The foreign ministers of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. The foreign ministers of the Central Asian countries are visiting New Delhi to take part in the 3rd meeting of the India-Central Asia Dialogue. During the meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, India accords highest priority to its long-standing relations with Central Asian countries. The Jammu and Kashmir Delimitation Commission has proposed to increase 6 assembly seats for the Jammu division and 1 for the Kashmir division. For the first time in Jammu and Kashmir, 9 assembly seats are proposed to be allocated for scheduled tribes and 7 seats are proposed for scheduled castes. The commission, headed by Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, met all the 5 associate members, including Dr. Farooq Abdullah, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Mohammad Akbar Lone, Hasnain Masoodi and Jugal Kishore Sharma in New Delhi today. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra and Chief Electoral Officer of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir were also present during the meeting. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 138 crore landmark milestone today. Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said more than 138 crore 26 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to the beneficiaries so far across the country. It said more than 58 lakh vaccine doses have been administered till 7 p.m. today. The ministry said more than 82 crore 82 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as first dose, while over 55 crore 43 lakh doses have been administered as second dose. The national recovery rate stands at 98.39%. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Do you want to fly high, to reach out to the skies? Do you feel proud to wear the uniform? Then join the Indian Air Force.
Applications open from 1st December 2021. To apply online, log in to careerindianairforce.cdac.in.
कोविड टीके के दोनों खुराक पाने वालों की संख्या में उत्तर प्रदेश सबसे अव्वल। यहाँ 4 करोड़ 13 लाख से अधिक लोगों को टीके की दोनों डोज देकर कोविड का सुरक्षा कवर प्रदान किया गया है।
उत्तर प्रदेश में कोविड से बचाव के लिए ट्रेसिंग, टेस्टिंग, ट्रीटमेंट और टीकाकरण की नीति से ये महामारी पूरी तरह नियंत्रित है।
चिकित्सा सुविधाओं में भी उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने नए आयाम दिए हैं। प्रदेश में कुल 97 मेडिकल कॉलेज हो गए हैं। नए मेडिकल कॉलेजेस होने से अब प्रदेश में मेडिकल की 40,000 सीट, MBBS की 35,088 और पीजी की 804 सीट्स बढ़ी हैं और इससे 65,000 से अधिक रोजगार के अवसर प्रदान होंगे।
सोच ईमानदार, काम दमदार, उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार द्वारा जनहित में प्रसारित।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
Now here is a review of the proceedings in Parliament today. First from the Lok Sabha, writer is Achinta Bora of the PTI. Amid a number of adjournments, protests and sloganeering, the Parliament has seen some legislative and scheduled business as well today. The Lok Sabha passed Electoral Reforms Bill amid din, while the Rajya Sabha has referred the Mediation Bill to the Standing Committee. The Lok Sabha started proceedings in the morning by paying tributes to 3 former members who passed away recently. As the House met after the weekend break at 11 a.m., opposition Congress, DMK and TMC members stormed into the well and began protesting, displaying placards. Congress and the TMC members were demanding the removal of Union Minister for Home Affairs, Ajay Kumar Mishra, in connection with the Lakhimpur Kheri violence, as his son Ashish Mishra is one of the accused arrested in the case. The DMK members protested against the arrest of 55 Tamil Nadu fishermen by the Sri Lankan Navy. During the question hour, while the protesting members of the Congress, DMK and TMC are at the well, the members of NCP, Shiv Sena, BSP and IUML stood near their respective seats in solidarity. Amid opposition protests, the House took up several questions. Meanwhile, the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla urged the members to maintain the decorum of the House and go back to their seats. Pointing the protesting members, Mr. Birla appealed the members to develop a good tradition in the House, as the public have sent them here to raise their problems. After the first and brief adjournment, the lower house met again at 12 noon. Mr. Rajendra Agarwal, who was in the chair, accepted the introduction of the Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 after taking voice votes. Law and Justice Minister Kiran Rijiju introduced the bill in the House. Ministers laid papers of the respective ministries and made the statements relating to the reports of the standing committees during the period. However, as the opposition continued protest over various issues, including on the Lakhimpur Kheri incident, Mr. Agarwal adjourned the House till 2 p.m. In the post-lunch session, when the Lok Sabha met at 2 p.m., supplementary demands for grants, second batch for 2021-22, was passed. Similarly, the Appropriation No. 5 Bill 2021 was introduced and passed by the lower house. Following this, the House referred the Biological Diversity Bill, moved by Environment Minister Bhupender Yadav, to a joint committee of both houses of Parliament. Earlier, Lok Sabha cleared the second batch of supplementary demands for grants amid din, authorizing the government to spend an additional 3.73 lakh crore rupees to the current fiscal year amid protests by the opposition over various issues. The extra spending include infusing over 62,000 crore rupees into the company that holds residual assets and liabilities of Air India, 58,430 crore rupees by way of additional fertilizer subsidy, 53,123 crore rupees towards payment of pending export incentives, and 22,039 crore rupees to Rural Development Ministry for transfer to National Rural Employment Guarantee Fund. Replying to a discussion on the demands, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman assured the House that the government would take action to moderate prices of edible oil and other essential items. She said banks have recovered about 13,109 crore rupees from asset sale of fugitives, including Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi. However, as the protest demanding for sacking of Minister of State Ajay Kumar Mishra continued, the chair adjourned the House for the third time till 2:45 p.m. When the House met after adjournment, the chair allowed discussion on the Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 amid din. The Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021, piloted by Union Law and Justice Minister Kiran Rijiju, was passed by voice vote after a brief discussion during which some opposition members demanded that it be referred to a parliamentary panel. While moving the bill for passage, Mr. Rijiju said, unlike earlier, now a person could get an opportunity to enroll as a voter 4 times in a year on the first day of January, April, July and October. He said linking of Aadhaar number with electoral rolls is not compulsory or mandatory but voluntary. He also said the government has thoroughly discussed the recommendations with ECI and the states as well. Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, AIMIM leader Asaduddin Owaisi, Kalyan Banerjee of the TMC, N.K. Premchandran of the RSP, Ritesh Pandey of the BSP opposed the bill. The opposition pointed out that the government is bringing an important bill in a hurry and not allowing the thorough discussion on the contents. Later, the House was adjourned for the day amid continuous protest by opposition members.
And now the review proceedings in Rajya Sabha. Writer is Rajesh Ahuja of PTI. The issue of suspension of 12 opposition MPs continued to rock the Rajya Sabha for the 4th week in the winter session of Parliament. However, the upper house also passed the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances NDPS Amendment Bill 2021, while the Mediation Bill 2021 was referred to the Standing Committee of Law and Justice. The House also briefly discussed the threat caused by Omicron variant of COVID-19 in the country. In the morning, soon after the laying of papers, members of the opposition sought to raise the issue of suspension of the MPs even as Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu called for zero up. Amid a uproar of the opposition, the chairman said that he is disappointed over the lack of consensus on the issue. Thereafter, he adjourned the House till 2 p.m. When the House reassembled at 2 p.m., Deputy Chairman Harivansh called upon the Minister of State for Law and Justice S.P. Singh Baghel to introduce the Mediation Bill 2021 in the House. Amid noisy scenes, the Minister of State for Law and Justice introduced a resolution to refer the Mediation Bill 2021 to the Parliament Standing Committee. The resolution was passed by a voice vote. Thereafter, the Deputy Chairman, Harivansh, called for resuming short-duration discussion on the spread of Omicron variant of COVID-19. Mr. Harivansh urged the opposition to allow discussion on the issue, which is a matter of concern for the people of the country. Syed Zafar Islam of the BJP urged the opposition to allow discussion on the issue, as Omicron is a variant which poses a serious threat to the people of the country. However, as noisy scenes continued, even after repeated pleas, the Deputy Chairman adjourned the House till 3 p.m. When the House resumed after adjournment, responding to the discussion amid noisy scenes, Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia lamented that the opposition did not participate in discussion on such an important issue, whereas the same issue was discussed in the Lok Sabha till late in the night. He said that the country is fully prepared to deal with the challenge posed by the Omicron variant of COVID-19 and waged a strong fight against COVID-19 under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. After the discussion, the chair asked Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to move the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Bill 2021 for consideration. The bill seeks to amend 1985 Act on the subject. On the other hand, Shakti Singh Gohil of the Congress moved a resolution simultaneously to disapprove of the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Ordinance 2021. Even as the chair asked for the starting discussion on the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Bill 2021 and the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Ordinance 2021, Congress member Digvijay Singh sought to raise the issue of suspension of 12 opposition MPs. However, the chair said that anything other than that on the bill will not go on record.
Speaking on the bill, nominated member Suresh Gopi in support of the bill said it is critical to discuss the illicit and licit use of drugs for the future of the country's youth. All India Trinamool Congress member Nandimul Haq and DMK member Tiruchi Shiva sought to raise the issue of suspension of 12 opposition MPs, but the chair did not allow the statements to go on record. Amid noisy scenes by the opposition demanding withdrawal of suspension of 12 opposition MPs and sacking of Union Minister Ajay Kumar Mishra, BJD MP Prashant Nanda and M. Thambidurai of the AIA-DMK spoke in favour of the bill. The House continued to witness chaos as discussion on the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Bill 2021 failing to make much headway. When Jaya Bachchan of the Samajwadi Party asked to speak on the bill, sought instead to raise the issue of suspension of opposition MPs and blamed the chair for not allowing opposition MPs to put across their point of view. Rakesh Sinha of the BJP objected to Mrs. Bachchan's remarks and blamed opposition of casting aspersions on the chair. Meanwhile, Jaya Bachchan alleged that a ruling party member has made personal remarks against her. Amid uproar, the presiding officer Bhuvaneshwar Kalita adjourned the House till 5 p.m. When the House reassembled, JDU member Ramnath Thakur spoke in favour of the bill. Raising a point of order, leader of the opposition Mallikarjun Kharge said that the opposition has been repeatedly saying that a man who is supporting an accused in Lakhimpur Kheri incident is still in the ministry. He should be removed. Thereafter, the opposition parties walked out of the House in protest. Supporting the bill, Sushil Kumar Gupta of the Aam Aadmi Party said that lives of several youth have been impacted by drug abuse. Replying to the discussion, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the ordinance necessitated due to Tripura High Court order. She said court orders came in September when the House was not in session, so an ordinance was necessitated. She also said that the bill is to correct an error committed in the UPA rule. The bill was passed by voice vote after the House negated the statutory resolution disapproving of the ordinance, with the bill already having been passed by the Lok Sabha. Therefore, it has now received the approval of Parliament. Thereafter, the Chair called for laying of special mentions. After the laying of special mentions, the House was adjourned for the day. That's all in Parliament Review.
The Enforcement Directorate today questioned actor Aishwarya Rai Bachchan for alleged foreign exchange violations. She appeared today before ED officials in New Delhi. A correspondent quoting sources reports the agency recorded the actor's statement on allegations of stashing wealth abroad. The Enforcement Directorate started investigating alleged forex violations in 2017. The Sensex and the Nifty today tumbled more than 2%. Both stocks meltdown amid big losses in the equity markets worldwide. The Sensex closed nearly 55,800 and the Nifty settled near 16,600 level. The BSE Sensex witnessed a steep fall of 1,190 points or 2.09% to finish at 55,822. The NSE Nifty also plunged 401 points or 2.18% to end at 16,614. In football, India have entered the final of the SAFF Under-19 Women's Championship 2021. India will play the final match on Wednesday. India defeated Nepal by 1-0 in the last group stage match in Dhaka yesterday. Priyanka Devi scored the winning goal in the 66th minute. India finished second after group stage with 3 wins and 1 defeat against Bangladesh. Holders and host Bangladesh are unbeaten, winning 3 and drawing 1. The India Meteorological Department has said that the cold wave conditions are likely to continue during the next 2 days in northwest India and certain parts of West India. Meteorological Department said that dry northwesterly winds of about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour are likely to prevail over plains of northwest India till tomorrow, enhancing the adverse impacts of the cold wave and cold day conditions. Cold wave to severe cold wave conditions are very likely to continue to prevail over a few pockets of Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh tomorrow and very likely to abate thereafter. Cold wave conditions in a few pockets very likely to continue to prevail over Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit-Baltistan, Muzaffarabad, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and Chhattisgarh till tomorrow and very likely to abate thereafter.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have moderate fog. Mumbai is expected to have mainly clear sky. Chennai is also expected to witness mainly clear sky. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. Srinagar is expected to have mainly clear sky. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Leh is likely to witness clear sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Hyderabad is expected to have foggy morning and later mainly clear sky. Thiruvananthapuram will have partly cloudy sky. In Puducherry there will be mainly clear sky. Guwahati will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Imphal, Shillong and Aizawl will have partly cloudy sky. Kohima and Itanagar will have mainly clear sky. Gangtok will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Agartala will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow to participate in a program that will be attended by over 2 lakh women. Prime Minister interacts with leading CEOs of companies ahead of the Budget 2022. Parliament passes Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment Bill 2021. Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 passed in Lok Sabha aims to link Aadhaar number with electoral rolls, besides giving a voter 4 opportunities to enroll in a calendar year. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurates 4 national highways in Mirzapur of Uttar Pradesh. Around 2,66,000 crore rupees spent during the last 6 years for development of northeastern states, says Donor Minister G. Kishan Reddy. In Jammu and Kashmir, Delimitation Commission proposes 9 assembly seats for scheduled tribes and 7 seats for scheduled castes. Over 138 crore 26 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.39%. Cold wave conditions to prevail for next 2 days in northwest India. And in football, India enter the final of the SAFF Under-19 Women's Championship 2021. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.